It's been a very special week here at Crossroads, and I hope you've been able to be with us each day, but you might be meeting our guests for the first time. Alice Achan is from Northern Uganda. She's come to Canada to tell us how she's partnering with Crossroads to see transformation in a country that has been devastated by 2 decades of war. And of course, Dave Shelley is with us again, Director of Crossroads Missions. Dave has seen, I think many times, firsthand, what God is doing in Northern Uganda.
Yes, and it's very exciting, and it's a privilege to work alongside, you know, helping them to get back on their feet and get reestablished after a lot of trouble and fear and conflict.
And how long has it been? How long have we been working with Alice?
Well, since 2006, we started working with Alice and Pastor Charles Acqueer.
Victory Outreach International.
Victory Outreach Ministries. And it's been great to see the transformation that can happen when you plant a seed, or you build a home, or some of the Seeds of Love women visit some of these girls and families that are really in tough shape, but bring encouragement and God's Word to them.
Now, I don't know if it's Alice's initiative, probably, because you're the founder of Christian Counseling Fellowship, but I love the names of your projects. Seeds of Love, the School of Second Chances. These are not unlike many African names. Precious, Perfect, Mercy. I mean, the hope is injected into everything you touch.
Yeah, I could say it's my own initiatives, but it's really God's hand into that. It's God's hand into this thinking, because what we have seen for the last 20 years really needed something that will help people put their faith back, especially the women and the girls who were the victims of the 20 years of the war, you know. And from 2006, when we began to partnership with Crossroads and people from Canada, we have seen so many transformation in their life. From emergency, right when the girls have just been rescued from the hand of the rebels, to the time that would settle them back into their villages. We have seen 500 girls passing through our hand, with the help of Crossroads establishing the vocational training center, which was very basic, because most of the girls did not have opportunity to go to school because they were in captivity like for 4 years. And
explain this for someone just tuning in. What has happened to these girls in Northern Uganda?
Yeah, what happened to these girls, like they were abducted, they were, like I would say, kidnapped, but this was brutally abducted forcefully from their parents by the armed men who claimed to be the rebels fighting for democracy. And when these girls were abducted, they were taken in as young as 10 years old, and they were made to be wives to a commander.
Sex slaves.
Sex slaves,
really.
actually. We would call it sex slaves. And for these 4 or 5 years, these girls live under this torture of sexual abuse. And majority of them come home with pregnancy.
Or little babies.
For little babies.
AIDS.
And come out with infected with HIV/AIDS. So they definitely don't have hope of what their life would be. And then in 2006, when we partnered with Crossroads, we established a vocational training school, which was very important for their life. And I want to say it very clearly that even if we had the initiatives, but without support with our brothers and sisters from Canada, we are not going to make it. When David visited us in Pada in 2007, we didn't have anything. We were just under 10. And in 2007, we built the biggest training center where we would train like 200 girls at a time, equip them with a tailoring machine, equip them with knitting machines, and help them settle back in their village.
Don't you girls want to know where and how God called this beautiful single woman to this poured out life for her people?
You know, it's interesting, because I was watching a major network last night, and they were celebrating heroes, and I was thinking, Alice is such a hero. You know, I was so excited to meet you today, because you are a hero. And I love the story of the fact that you left Uganda and then came back. God called you back to come to help. Could you tell us that story again?
Well, I was sharing with David yesterday. I studied in a very hard condition. I would say I was damned. But little did I know that was God helping me to set a foundation. When I was in high school, I studied in one of the remotest places where actually people move naked. These are real native people, and they were like rude. And God, I was there, and in 2000, when I had God calling me to come out of Kampala to go back to Pade to start a work which even I didn't know, it was so hard for me, but I had to go because I knew God was speaking to me, and God wanted me to do something really to help the people.
And Kampala is the capital city of Uganda, and if you live there, you can have a pretty decent life. They have a good infrastructure, all the things, and you had got your education, so you would have been able to make a good life there.
Yeah, so this was all that God prepared me a long time ago, but because at the age of at 13, I had to drop out of school to take care of an orphan that the mother died of HIV/AIDS. That was my niece. My sister-in-law died of HIV/AIDS. So I dropped out of school and I took care of her. And unfortunately, that girl died. And I felt like a big battle with God. So when God called me in 2002 to go and start a mission in Pade, where it's my village, I knew that's why all the thing I had to go through was just to prepare me to come and serve God in a bigger way.
And you were willing to go? You didn't question?
I had a lot of questions, but...
Wrestle?
Yes. I had to wrestle, I had to battle, because this girl died in 2000, and this girl, I took her like my daughter. And again, God wanted me to go back to do the work with children. It was not something that I was not ready to do it. But in 2002, that was the time when the situation was so bad. Actually, that was the time that the LRA actually killed like over 200 people, just like in the refugees that were settled from Sudan in Padel. They killed like 200 people like in less than 2 hours.